Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. I'm going to be going over the Bell Trading API in this video. So I'm just going to kind of get started and go over functionality, and then after that we'll dive into kind of how it operates and what's needed in order to get this up and running. So first things first, I already have all my information plugged in. I have the domain, I have all the port forwarding done, all that good stuff, and all my API keys entered. So I'm going to run the application. From here, it brings up a couple windows, which are sessions for each one of these that I have open. So there's 3. And then I also have another command prompt that's for Apache that does all the redirects for the domain. And I'll go over that in a little bit more detail, perhaps in another video, on how it all kind of works. But for right now, we have it running, it's operating, and we could see the windows that are waiting and listening for webhooks. So the next step is to kind of send a webhook to this and then show you that the trade was registered. So what I'm going to do for now, since I don't have to wait for a trade to go through, is I'm just going to send that through a program called Insomnia, which will send a post request. So I'm going to do that and hit send, and we could see here that it actually went through and we have our request. So what I sent is a buy order for 2 orders of Microsoft, and what I'll do is I'll show that on Alpaca here. All right. So let's see here. What I'll do is I'll refresh. So I'm going to place another couple orders. So I'm going to hit the send. Right. So what I'm doing is I'm simulating Tradingview sending these webhook requests, and then what's happening is this application that's locally installed on your computer is picking up those requests, right? And then it's sending them to Alpaca to actually place the order, if that makes sense. So now that I sent those, we can see here we have like 2 orders of Microsoft and 1 for Bitcoin. I'm just going to refresh the page and see if we can see those trade orders being placed. So order history, yep, we can see that those have been placed at 9:19. Right now it's 9:20. So you can see that it's working. So now the last part is to actually show how to integrate this with Tradingview. So I'm just going to open Tradingview here. And really this is the gist of it. What you want to do is you want to go to indicators, and you want to select one that you think is a good strategy, and it has to be a strategy. So for this example, we will use this one, right? All right, so I selected a strategy. You can see here it sends requests whenever there's a buy and a sell, whenever it thinks it should do this. You can enter different settings here. If you select, you can go through initial capital, base currency, all that good stuff, and that will impact when these buy and sells go through. But really what we need is we need to make sure whenever this happens, these buy sell requests, it gets sent to our program. So in order to do that, what we want to do is we want to create an alert based off of this strategy. So I'm going to click the alert symbol, and we're going to make sure it has our webhook information entered into it. So right now it looks like it has the correct URL in this instance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the program here, and I'm going to show you where we get that information. So we're going to go to the home button, which we're at, and we're going to go to the Alpaca key that we set up, and then here we have our URL to enter, and this changes for each key, right? So for this instance, we're using this one, ID of 2, which we can set up in the settings, or I'm sorry, the key area, which is where you enter all that information, and then it generates this kind of information that's needed to make the webhook URL information. So we're going to copy this. We're going to use the webhook URL, and what we're going to do is we're going to paste that into Alpaca. So I'm going to bring up, or sorry, we're going to paste that into Tradingview. So I'm gonna bring that back here, and we're just gonna paste that in. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back, and then we're gonna copy the webhook URL, or I'm sorry, the webhook information itself. And then we're gonna go back to Tradingview, and then we're gonna paste that in here. All right, and then we're gonna hit, we can name it just anything, and then we're gonna hit create. All right, so right now we created an alert. So whenever one of these buy and sells are triggered, it's going to send us a webhook request to, let's see here, if I edit, to our domain, which is in this example I used alter ego 77763, and then that basically points to our public IP address. Then your router points to the computer the program is installed on, and then Apache uses this last part to kind of identify which part is making the trade. And then this is just the information that is sent with all the details, like the number of orders, the contracts. None of this needs to be modified by you. It's all automated. As long as you do this part and click save, whenever you see a buy and sell here, right, you should also see that on the application and on the exchange that you're using as well. So if we go back to the application, right, this is the information that we'll need for the different ones. So if you're going to trade to Coinbase Pro, you want to make sure you have all that information properly set, and you would do that through the keys tab. So if I wanted to say generate a new key, you click here, and then you would select the exchange. So in this case, we'll use, I don't know, Coinbase Pro, and then we would choose whether it's going to be a paper trading or live account. So in this case, I'll use paper. Sometimes you might need to toggle between the two if they don't set. So let's see here. We're going to go toggle that back to paper. And then you would enter your private key and public key that's provided to you. And then you wouldn't need to set anything for here once all this information's entered, right? So I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to click Save Changes. To set whether it's active, you actually do that through the Home tab here. So I would just scroll down. Right now it's not active. It doesn't have anything there. We would just save it and then just make sure it saves it to true. There we go. And then now you could use this information and your new URL for a new alert through Tradingview. And then whenever that triggers, it'll use the information that Tradingview sends and then sends it to this URL, which is where your program is. And then your program will make the trade for you using the API keys that are entered here. I know it's very confusing. There's a lot to it. But with the information I provided, you should be able to get everything running and operational. However, if there is any questions, feel free to let me know. I don't mind at all creating additional videos for some of the more detailed parts of this. But that's basically the gist. You want to enter your keys with the information. Then you want to go to the Home tab, make sure all of this is filled in properly, and then changing whether or not it's active. And then you should see the trades go through once you launch it, and you have to hit the show console window for these to pop up. If you don't want these to pop up, you keep this unchecked and hit start. It'll still operate the same way. You just won't be able to see the requests go through. That's pretty much it for this video. I thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, like I said before, please let me know. Thank you.